The July 14th, 2026 meeting of the Anderson County Planning Commission will be called to order at this time. We welcome everyone here. We're here to hear what everyone has to say, and if you have a concern, we're glad you're here. If you'll stand now for the invocation and the pledge to the flag. Mr. Cawthorn will lead us in prayer.
Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this evening. We thank you for the life that you've given us. We thank you for the ability to serve our community. We ask that you guide us and lead us tonight in our decisions and our discussions. We ask that we do all things in your name. For us in Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. All right, at this time I'll call for approval of the agenda as printed. We know we do have one deletion. The Burris Farms item has been removed from the agenda for tonight. I think it's going to be back on next month. But anyway, do I have a motion to approve the agenda as amended?
So moved.
We have a motion from Mr. Cawthorn. A second?
Second.
We have a second from Mr. Burdette. Any discussion? All those in favor? And unanimous. All right. We do not have any minutes to review at this time. They will be forthcoming. So we'll go ahead and move on to agenda item 6, public hearings. And
Mr. Chairman, you have the May 12th.
Pardon?
You have May 12th meeting minutes.
Oh, we do? Okay, I saw this will be forthcoming on our original, agenda. Perhaps not the agenda, amended one. Have our board members reviewed those minutes? I'll have to say that I have not.
They're not in the packet.
Were those in our packet? I don't believe they were.
We don't have any.
I didn't think we had any.
Yeah, they were emailed in the
They were
packet.
emailed, but they're not in here. Well, what's the pleasure of the board? Would you rather wait until we have those reviewed before we approve them? Might be a good idea.
I would move to.
Okay, Mr. Cawthorn moves that we delay any vote on minutes because we don't have them in printed form. Do I hear a second on that? We have a second from Mr. Junkins? Oh, Mr. Burdette, okay. All right, any discussion? All those in favor? And unanimous. All right, at this time, item 6A, staff presentation.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is Anderson Mill Apartments, 513 property owners within 2,000 feet of the proposed development were notified via postcard. The applicant is Andrew Cope, and the development is a multifamily apartments. It's located at Highway 28 and 29 South, New Pond Road, which is state, and Highway 28 is also state maintained. Details of the development: the proposed multifamily residential development is consistent with the existing and emerging development patterns in the surrounding area. The site is located near established commercial uses, including nearby Lowe's and supporting retail, as well as mix of residential uses within the broader corridor. This type of transitional development integrating residential housing near commercial nods in a common and appropriate land use pattern that supports walkability, reduces commute distances, and aligns with Anderson County continuing growth. Additionally, the demand for quality, attainability housing in proximity to employment centers and services further supports the appropriateness of this use at this location. Surrounding land use is residential commercial. That's 15 acres, 216 units. It's in Council District 2. The area is unzoned. Tax map is there for your reference. No variance is requested. And now I'll turn it over to Roads and Bridges on the traffic analysis of impact.
All right. A little bit of housekeeping. This development is on nothing but DOT roads. DOT did approve the traffic study as is, and we cannot overrule them on any kind of improvements. So I'll go through basically what the traffic study said. It was for 198 multifamily apartment units. Proposed access is located on Highway 28 bypass. Traffic impact study was conducted by Roger Dyer Traffic and dated June 30th, 2026. Existing counts were taken on April 14th, 15th, 16th, 21st, 22nd, 23rd, and 29th of this year. These are the findings of our review. The study addressed Highway 28 bypass and Highway 29 Sayre Street. It was Highway 28 bypass and Green Tree Circle, Highway 28 bypass and New Pond Road, and Highway 28 bypass and South Murray Avenue. The two accesses for this development is located across from Green Tree Circle and New Pond Road. There's two accesses, so that's why those were studied. The level of service for all movements at the accesses are acceptable. South Carolina DOT approved the traffic study with no improvements being warranted. This concludes our review. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer those.
Thank you, Ms. McAbey. Any questions from the board? All right, thank you very much.
All right, here is the proposed layout of the apartment complex. Here is the aerial overview of the property. And here is the sign posted for public. This concludes your staff report, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. At this time, we'll ask the property owner, developer, engineer, whoever the representative is, to come make a presentation. Is there anyone here representing this project? All right, okay, hearing none, we'll call for the citizens' comments on this. And first up is, wait a minute, that's not in order. Highway 24. All right. Not sure these came back up here in order. Sorry.
Mr. Chairman.
Oh, yes, here we go, upside down. All right. All right, Denise Fisher is our first speaker.
Ms.
Yes, I'm sorry. Oh, okay. Do you need to explain for the record why you're recusing? It's probably a good idea.
Okay. I'm recusing myself. JM Co. I've confirmed is an actual customer of mine that we have performed work for in the past, so I'm going to recuse from voting.
Okay, better safe than sorry. Thank you, Mr. Junkins. Okay, Denise Fisher.
Hi, my name is Denise Fisher, and I'm in District 2. I live in the area, and just a couple years ago, we had it was over 250 apartments put 2 blocks from me, this way on Chocolate Ferry. I live right off of New Pond, so this place is proposed up this way from me. We're already having trouble getting out onto Chocolate Ferry during, 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the afternoons. My question is, what's going to keep us from getting hemmed in? We're caught in the middle. Another thing is, can our fire department handle this? With all these apartments, we just have a volunteer fire department. I know I'm forgetting something, but because I don't speak publicly. And then we're homeowners. And it's like, we feel like we're being dumped on right now. Because we got all those big apartments, we got 125 houses going up. Then we've got the tiny homes. Now you're wanting to put in these big apartments here. Let's not mention what's on down the road that was shifted from tonight to August, which is further down 29. That's going to impact us. I know they say the roads can handle it, but can they? because these apartments are already coming down New Pond. They're wanting to come out New Pond. We're having a hard time coming in and out here. I mean, that's really all I wanted to say.
All right, thank you, ma'am.
I think it's a good deal.
Thank you. Next is Walter Lanier.
How are you doing? I came tonight just to give my opposition to this. You won't see a lot of Holland Park residents come to this because a few of you know my face. A few may not, you're new faces to me. I've had my petition by this council thrown to the side when thousands of residents protested. So we feel like we take a loss just about every time we come here. And just as she stated about the apartments and the tiny homes, we're tired of the low-income housing that keeps getting shoved down our throat. And I can't keep talking about the schools. We all know what the school issues are. We all know every issue. I've said it a million times before at every meeting. So I just ask that you kindly take that into consideration, that they didn't even show up tonight. And think more about, the school was already getting over capacity when the 300-plus apartments came. And this is the same LIHTC tax incentive program that was presented to us several years ago that was just lipstick on a pig, and this is the same exact thing. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is Tony McCurry.
Mr. Chairman and members, I'm here in opposition of this proposal. As the flyer shows, that I counted as 240 units, which is more than they said, and the number of parking spaces is 284 cars. So when you add all that together, and they're going to have to cut in 2 more on cycles on 228 bypass, which is already pretty crowded. Along with, like the other two said, with the population that's already exploded in the area with brand new high-rise apartments just down the street, maybe a quarter mile away. The area is way overdeveloped as it is right now. I propose that we hold off on this and get a more decent advantage onto this. And with the way that it is, with the floodplain that's behind it, if something goes wrong with this, who's going to be held accountable when we have another? It used to be a 100-year flood, but we have them every other month, it seems like. So who's going to hold this developer accountable when this floods the entire area and we've got some 500 people that's added to the community? So let's think about this. Let's stop it in its tracks and just hold off till we can get some reasonable growth. Thank you.
Thank you. And last is Phil Clark.
Good evening, Phil Clark. I see you guys are a couple short on your 9-member committee. Apparently the election sent a message from the people that we're tired of the development that's happening. And as far as this apartment complex, on May 12th, do you remember Palmetto Place? That was another 126 units with 236 parking spaces. Ms. Jones asked a wonderful question. Who's the fire department? And Jackson Taylor, I'm not exactly sure. This is a guy from Indiana that's developing that Palmetto Place. And you would think that working with a developer, you would cross all the T's and dot all the I's. So Ms. Jones asked the question, does the fire department have adequate equipment to reach that 3rd level walk-up? And the gentleman's answer was, I don't know. So my question is, you guys on the board approved that in May. It was disclosed that we don't know the fire department, whether they have the equipment to reach that 3rd floor. Is there a liability on somebody if somebody on the 3rd floor gets hurt? You know, that's a good question to ask. And as far as the school districts are bursting at the seam. that, you know, I want to see the children go to a safe building and have a roof over their head, not be put out in a trailer that could be hauled away tomorrow. I think our children deserve better, and the future of our children, to see the farmland that once stood, and now all you see is housing developments, or God forbid, the data centers. That's the worst one. You know, once that farmland is gone, how long does it take to return that to farmland? What, 30 years, if at all? So I urge you this evening, put this on the back burner. If the guy couldn't even make it, I had difficulty finding a parking spot, but I made it. I learned from the last time, it took me 30 minutes to get here and a 15-minute drive, so I made it early just to be here. And we've got enough housing. We need to get the infrastructure, the roads back on track, the schools to grow, the buildings for the schools to grow, not the children that go in them, because we already got too many. So I urge you, think long and hard whether you approve this, but I would suggest to table it and wait a year or two until the infrastructure can catch up. Thank you.
Thank you. And as a point of information for everyone here, yes, we are a 9-member board, but we have had 2 resignations. Mr. Wes Grant, who is at one of the at-large appointments, he resigned for personal and professional reasons. And Mr. Will Moore, who serves County Council District 4, he resigned also. In addition to that, tonight we're missing Mr. Gilreath, who happens to be out of the States at this time. So, all right. So at this time, I will entertain a motion from the board to approve or deny this project.
I'll make the motion to deny, as based on the fact that we can't provide services for this development.
We have a motion for denial from Ms. Jones. Do I hear a second?
Second.
We have a second from Mr. Cothran. Any discussion amongst the board members?
There was one question I wanted to ask. I guess this is redundant now, but we didn't have anything about utilities. Was they okay?
They're not required for land use applications, reviews. That's only for subdivisions.
Well, it looks like if you had an apartment, you'd have to have water, but what do I know?
There always seems to be a slight confusion about housing units of subdivisions versus apartments or whatever. Yeah, that's something that could be cleared up and I think needs to be. All right, anyone else?
I would add and agree that there has been an awful lot of, as it was put, low-income type development in the Homeland Park area, and I do think that we are kind of overwhelming that area. We know we had the big apartments last month, and then the ones that were already built down off 29, that reference to tiny homes. So,
Yep, David, can you start over on the microphone?
it's on.
Is it on?
Yeah.
It needs to be closer.
I think that there is an overwhelming amount of lower income housing projects in Homeland Park. I agree with that. I wouldn't use that as for our official form. I would agree with Jane. I think the clause about harmony with the local residents and maybe some of the infrastructure I would also add to that. But yeah, I think we need to take a strong look at what's going on down in Homeland Park in terms of, you know, what type of housing is going on down there.
All right, thank you. Anyone else? All right, hearing none, I'll call for a vote. The motion is to deny this project. Those in favor of denial, please raise your hand. And it is unanimous. Okay, public hearing 6B, variance request to allow 3 additional driveways off of Nautical Way located at 121 Nautical Way, tax map number 27-00-0001, 2021-006. This resides in County Council District 4. Staff?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As mentioned, this is a variance request to allow for additional driveways. Chardee Bryant is the applicant, and Anthony Barnett as well. Property location is at 121 Nautical Way in Townville, County Council District 4. There's your tax map number for your reference. The property description is the corner of Nautical Way and SC Highway 187. This property is currently zoned residential single family, and the current use of the area there is residential. Again, the applicant is requesting to subdivide the existing home site. There's one house there that's already existing into 4 separate lots, and the request to add for 3 additional driveways on Nautical Way. Findings of fact, Teakwood subdivision, it was developed in 1994, and they're currently maxed out at 100, they're over 100 lots. I believe there's 104 lots in there, and Teakwood is currently over the requirement. And so this is the reason for the variance off of the Nautical Way for the access. Staff assessment, the applicant owners desire to subdivide 3 additional lots for their sons. The property is before the entry onto Teakwood subdivision. The property has never been a part of the subdivision. The property in question is on Nautical Way, is also a county road, and the safest means to access these new lots. Access off of SC 187 would affect the original proposed design and create an undue burden off of an easement across all 4 lots there. There is no adverse effects of adjacent properties if the variance is granted. Anderson County Roads and Bridges must approve access off of Nautical Way. If the variance is approved, the applicant is required to obtain a final survey to subdivide the parcels so that they become a lot of record if approved access by the Roads and Bridges Department. Once the final survey has been completed, if approved by the Planning Commission, the Development Standards Department will be in charge of approving the actual summary plat and then recorded in the Register of Deeds office. The applicant may have some additional information provided by SCDOT for the reasons for them not being able to obtain the access ingress egress off of 187. There is a slight curve in the road there, and DOT is looking at the possibility of requiring them to come off the Nautical Way. Here's a area view of the property where you can see the one existing home site there. Here's the property in question. Here's the summary plat that shows the existing home site that's already using Nautical Way, and then the 3 proposed residential lots that they're asking and seeking the variance to subdivide off of the Nautical Way. Here is the subdivision plat that was approved back in the 90s, early 90s, 1994, 1995, that showed the lots that were approved by the Planning Commission in the early 90s. Here's the final plat that was approved. Here's the variance request signage that's required. This concludes your staff report, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Hunter. At this time, is there a landowner, developer, and/or engineer here present?
Mr. Chairman, you should have some information by Attorney Calvin Pruitt, who's also here. There is some documentation that he's provided for the Planning Commission to review concerning the access.
Yes, sir.
2 housekeeping things there. I want to say thank y'all for having us here tonight. More importantly, I don't know y'all's protocol. All right, I'm just a simple man, okay? There was 2 mistakes making. It's not Townville. It is an Anderson 29625 address. and it was never proposed for 3 sons. There are no 3 sons. There's daughters involved. But this is not about developing for children, okay? We've been totally upfront and forthcoming with everything from the day that I met with my clients, who are not only my clients, but they're lifelong friends of mine. From the day we met with them, we put a sign out on the front of the property, and it actually says auction. And what the whole thing was designed to do was to work with the values of the property because of what we've been seeing going on everywhere else. Not about trying to ruin anybody's development. Nautical Way is a county road. It was deeded over to the county when that subdivision was done, but the access was actually bartered through with Patsy Barnett, who was the deceased owner of this property. The children are here tonight, and all they want to do is be able to try and make a sizable difference in what the value of the property is. So what we've got when you saw that display of the lots, you've got a long, deep property there. And the 3 lots that have been proposed to be cut are in the back behind the house. Those lots are very valuable. If they're just sitting there, they're not farmland, they haven't ever been farmed. As a matter of fact, up until about 4 weeks ago, they were covered with brush. They had tall weeds over them. You know, the family went in and had cut all that down and removed all the brush. They are trying to maintain it. It's not about destroying the front of the subdivision. Our decision and our request is simply to allow us, because Nautical Way is a pathway to the property. You know, it's just like when I drove in here this evening. I drove down Highway 24. I don't own the property that I came down, but there's people that own the properties beside me. I have no rights over them. I don't own their property. I can't tell them, you can't put this here, you can't put this there. They own the trees that are planted alongside the property. We've never, ever, and will not ever say that we want to cut those trees and destroy the entranceway that they have to their subdivision. Counteracting that, that's the beauty and the value of this property. You know, I mean, we would be ridiculously stupid, if you want me to just be blunt, to go in there and cut down those trees and make this look like a field. What we're trying to do is propose that there be 3 adequate building sites that could be developed. Doesn't mean we're going to develop them. That's not what we're about. What we're hoping to do is turn around and market them to increase the return of the estate for Patsy Barnett to the family. That's what we're looking at. We're looking at trying to protect the integrity of their neighborhood as much as they are. There's some things that have happened after Patsy passed and before Patsy passed that I'm sure that the Teakwood residents are probably pretty upset. And I feel like maybe we're getting pointed at now because their board moved 30 acres into a development LLC, an LLC that doesn't say who owns it. They changed their bylaws twice, and now they've got it down to where you can build on a 1-acre lot. Okay, so let's look back. We're already over the driveway standards. For them to be able to build more in that neighborhood, what do they got to do? According to the standards, they have to have a second entrance. Well, guess what? That's where this property lies. We don't feel like their opposition is in any way against us. Their opposition is that they want to keep the beauty of their subdivision. We do too. But what we do want is the right to be able to sell our land that's not part, and when I say our land, I'm sorry, that's how close I am to the people. We want to be able to sell that land and be able to get as much return for it. We're not into going in there, and I'm sorry, you know, I grew up in the mobile home business, so I can call them trailers if I want to. I think I earned that right, okay? We're not talking about putting trailers in there. We're not talking about putting pigs and goats and chickens and bulls and horns and everything else in there. We're talking about 3 upscale lots. Now, what hasn't happened is Teakwood hasn't came to us with anything other than lowball offers to buy the property.
They won't come to us and say, hey, I'm representing Teakwood, but they have their board members, and my phone's sitting back there. I've got this thing called Forewarn on my phone, so when you call me, I know who you are. I know why you're calling me pretty much. So when their board members and the residents in there started calling, asking about the property the day we put the sign out there, not when we went in and made the request. When we made the request, we had already been marked, what were we, 5 weeks into getting that survey done? So that's how long that sign sat out there. To me, that was an alert, there's a variance coming. You know what's getting ready to happen. We're getting ready to say this property has more value than just one brick house sitting on 4.3 acres. The ability to be able to cut it up into a couple of good-sized lots. We're not talking about half-acre lots. There's 0.86, 0.89, and 1.07. That had to be done because one of their neighbors is encroached on the property, and we're going to have to work out with them because their fence is on their property. That neighbor made a lowball offer on the property too. So it's just not fair. It's what's good for the goose should be good for the gander too. They walked in at some point, somebody walked in and got driveway request that went over that standard of, from what I was told by the developer, it was 99. I wasn't told 100. Y'all can tell me, like I say, I'm new at this. But what's ended up happening here is it went over, 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 and over. They didn't show up and say a word. Didn't say a word. You didn't hear them. Y'all never had it put in front of you. But the day I put a sign on those people's property as a Christian man and said, we're getting ready to do something, and we want to be forthcoming, transparent, and let everybody see that we're not here to hurt you. But nobody calls us. Nobody says, hey, what are you going to do about the trees? Hey, what are you going to do about this? No, nothing. But what we do get is lowball offers. They're trying to drive down the value of this property because they got 30 acres sitting in there, and somebody's getting ready to develop it. You don't sell property from a homeowner's development over to a LLC for $300,000 back in September of 2025 because you don't want another driveway down Nautical Way. You just don't do it. Nobody in their right mind would invest that money. But what are they doing? They're trying to hold down the price. I know I've said that once, I'm going to say it again. Our fight is not with Teakwood. We are not fighting with the HOA. We are here to support them. We want to keep those trees. We want to keep the integrity of the value of the land that they live on. We're not about demeaning it. We're not about trying to tear it down and make it look any less than it is right now. We actually want to make it look better. With that said, I wish they really would have called me. I wish they would have sat down and talked to me because they would have found that as a working through this, I'm a pretty reasonable person. We could have worked with them and putting restrictions on the lots, something that we don't have to do. But we're willing to work with them so that they understand we're trying to protect their subdivision too. Other than that, I ask you that for the variance for the 3 driveways because it is down to the facts of the value. That land's worth a lot more with those other 3 lots being able to be sold. After the 50, 60, no, 70 years that family has owned that property, I think they deserve that. When that house was originally built, it was a cornerstone on 187. People drove up and down it and they said, man, look at that house. Man, I want to live in a house like that. And then came Teakwood. We're not about tearing them down. We're about bringing them up. This is going to end up being another situation. You got another landowner right across the street on Nautical Way that owns 20 acres. What's going to happen with that? They're going to fight that too. They're going to hold that price down so they can get another entrance to develop more property. So I don't think their fight's really with us, and I don't think they understood that. Tonight they're finding out their fight's internal. They've got some other development coming that they don't foresee. Somebody hadn't been truthful about. Contrary, if there's anything that anybody ever needs, my name's Dwayne Johnson, and yeah, it is spelled the same way as a rock. It ought to be
Mr.
pretty
Chairman.
easy to remember.
Okay, thank you. That's,
To me, I'll answer any questions.
while you're there, does the board have any questions?
I'm kind of confused based on what I've got here in my notes. How many houses have already been built? It says here it was approved for 100 lots.
That's their development. I don't know how many houses are in there. I'm sorry, I don't have any
Says
of the
100.
numbers on Teakwood. I can tell you this, I've got what y'all said 104, but there's an email going around their homeowners association that says 109. So I don't know which one's correct.
I'm not real sure what it is we're supposed to be deciding.
Well, we're not part of Teakwood. That's the big issue here. We're not part of Teakwood.
What is it you want?
We own a tract of land.
Okay, but what is it you want?
We want 3 additional driveways off of Nautical Way, a county road. We are not part of Teakwood subdivision. That is the main entrance into Teakwood subdivision. They have trees planted along the right of way down
I'm
Nautical
just
Way.
trying to determine what it is we're supposed to vote on tonight, and apparently it's for 3 additional driveways. And
The additional
have
driveways.
houses been built on those 3 lots that you want driveways for yet, or,
No,
okay?
no. We want the ability to market the land as buildable. You know, the majority of the time when we do this, somebody comes in and buys up the whole thing. But you know, what ends up happening is they end up paying more because those lots are worth more, because they are buildable. There's a future to them. Right now, we're getting told that there's no future because we can't access Nautical Way. Now,
Is there any problem with the highway to people about putting these, if the entrances are approved, is there any problem technically about that?
well, it's a county-maintained road. We've not been allowed to present our case to the county as far as where the driveway placements are. What we want to do is shift the driveways around on the lots so that we don't interfere with their trees. The other thing that's been mentioned was as far as going down the side of the property, having the survey redrawn and putting an access road down the side to come out into a curve on
Well,
187.
that's between you and the highway to people. I'm just trying to decide what we're supposed to do here, and I'm still confused.
Okay, I'll try and my best to answer any question you
Sir,
got.
I understand. I get what you're saying, Jane. And I guess, and I understand what's being asked for. I guess from the county standpoint, I don't know that we've ever had to give a variance on a county road for a lot, a non-subdivision, well, big project, driveway cut, and they just want to add that to it. So I agree with you, and I agree with Ms. Jones. I'm not really sure why we need to vote for a variance on this. What you said makes perfectly good sense to me. I understand what you're asking for. I guess my question, and maybe Jane's, is what countywide procedural, why are we having to vote on a
Sounds
variance?
like a road decision.
I
For
can
a
tell you
private
why.
property owner. I can understand if this was Teakwood asking, I totally get it, but we clearly understand you're not a part of that subdivision.
Well, the problem was that I put that sign out front and I was very forthcoming on what we were trying to do. So they went down and spoke with Carty at the county offices and fought it and fought it and fought it. And he was afraid to sign off like they had signed off on all those other ones that went over 100 and said, no, I'm going to make y'all go get a variance.
Okay.
That's where we're at. That's the problem. We're being held to those standards of the subdivision that we're not part of. And I don't understand it. I'm going to be the first person. I'm with you, ma'am. I don't know why we have to be here. I don't understand. Why are we having to request a variance for property that is not part of a subdivision that
Have you
we're
gone to the
asking?
county roads and asked for a driveway?
We were told that we had to come here first. We're going
Okay.
through the procedure that was given to us over at the county offices.
Well, perhaps Mr. Carty can clear that up for us. Can you give us a definitive answer on that?
In the county ordinance, the regulation is for 1 entrance per 100 lots, and so that's what it is. So they're trying to access more onto this road. Even though they're not a part of this, the ordinance states 100 lots per entrance. So this is adding more to that one road coming in and out. Now, if this was a collector road, then this wouldn't be an issue. But since they're accessing into this one road, that has a limitation on it. That's the reason why we brought it to the board, to make that decision to access the location off of Nautical Way.
Can I ask a question? Why were those other lots approved and not brought in front of the board then? Why are we the ones got singled out? Why were the other lots in that subdivision approved over the number of 100 allowed, but we got singled out and made to come in and adhere to a subdivision rule that we're not part of? I'm confused now.
All right. If we need, we'll call you back, okay?
Yeah.
Ms. Hunter, you mentioned a paper or a letter or a statement from Attorney Pruitt.
Yes, sir. It's dated January 9th, 1998. It should be up here.
All right, I see that. I didn't see the attorney's name on this, so that's why I had to ask about that.
Also, there is a letter from Kevin Caller at your,
Yes,
should be at your
yes,
desk.
yes, I see that one. All right,
I don't have that.
What's this breakdown of by-year roadside maintenance? Is this the Teakwoods, what they're saying they have to spend on lights and maintenance? Is that what that exhibit is?
Yes, sir.
so, are you saying, Ms. Hunter, this is from Attorney Pruitt?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I was just looking for his name on here anywhere. I mean, I see Tony Sorelli, Development Standards Department, as the signator on this. So,
Mr. Chairman, he's here if he needs to come to the podium.
would you mind? For clarification, thank you.
Clarity to the questions that have been posed. Number one is, of course, we know that the purpose of this subdivision regulation was to make a limit as to the number of vehicles using this particular road. But that's not the focus that we're here on today. The real focus is that the road was dedicated to the county by a letter back in 1998. And at that time, the county didn't require a deed, didn't require a plat, didn't require anything other than the road, the blacktop, be accepted into the county for maintenance. And that's what has happened. So the document that sets forth the county's rights is limited to the blacktop and is not the entire width of the right-of-way as shown on the plat, which is my exhibit number 2. Now, the exhibit number 2, of course, preceded the dedication of the blacktop to the county, and that dedication of those roads was not a public dedication to make it a public road. It was a right-of-way given to the people of Teakwood subdivision. So the right-of-way, as shown on the plat, was given to the people of the subdivision and not to the county. The county thereafter agreed to accept the maintenance of the blacktop, but they didn't take and weren't given the entire width of the right-of-way. So the main problem, and I think it's going to be a problem for these developers, is shown on exhibit number 3 that we have here. Now, you'll notice that there's, looking down the exhibit, there's a stake. Well, that's the stake that the developers had put out to mark their property line. And you'll also notice that there's a row of trees going down there and also a utility box. So the long and the short of it is that there is a collar of land that is between the property of the developers and the blacktop. And that collar of land, which is the remainder of the original right-of-way dedicated to the homeowners is not owned by the developers, is not owned by any particular one person, is owned by the subdivision. And they don't have any land rights to cross that section that is between the blacktop and the actual subdivision and the actual lot line that they're proposing. So they'd have to get a right-of-way from Teakwood subdivision to cross that area that is between the blacktop and the property line of the developers. Now, I think it's also shown on the aerial photo, and you can see where the county, that's exhibit number 4, has drawn in the dimensions of the subdivision, and I'm not going to pretend that they're scale, but it shows that the blacktop road is much more narrow than the right-of-way. And the last exhibit that I presented to you for your consideration is the money that the Teakwood homeowners have spent over the years, some $250,000 or more, to beautify their portion of the right-of-way. And that's where the trees are planted, the grass has been cut, there's lighting, there's utilities, there's irrigation, all of which they did to beautify the entrance to their subdivision. The land belongs to Teakwood, and the developer's property does not touch the county road. And so I think they've got a real problem with land access, as well as having to get a variance if they got by the land access. Now, you might say, well, what about, I thought all county roads were so low. Well, if this same procedure were done today, the county would require a deed to the county filed in the Register of Deeds that set forth the boundary lines, probably with a plat of what was being accepted by the county. But as of right now, the only acceptance by the county of anything is described in the plaintiff's exhibit number 1, where the county says, okay, we'll take over the maintenance of your road. So the property owners who are asking for this variance would first have to get right to cross that collar between the blacktop and their property line. So on a number of reasons, we don't think that the variance should be granted. Number 1 is the ordinance was passed to hold down traffic. Okay, this would increase the traffic. Number 2 is that the developers can't get access to the road because there's a strip of land between the blacktop and their property line. So that's one thing they would have to climb over. But if they manage to climb over it, they still shouldn't get a variance. So that's why we're asking that this action for a variance be disallowed, is because really the developers don't have standing to ask for it because they don't even have access to the road as it is.
All right, so if I might ask this, well, go ahead, Mr. Burns.
Well, I was going to ask the question, is there a document that says definitively something that agrees with what you're saying? Because I've never seen anything that says that the county maintains just the blacktop. Who maintains the curb?
Well, right now, the developer, the homeowners are maintaining the road. Our information is the county has never maintained the road. But nevertheless.
Who owns the storm drain that's under it?
Well, that would be any land that wasn't dedicated to the county by the letter dated 1998 would be owned by the subdivision.
Whose signature is on the plat that was signed in 1994? Tony Sorelli.
Ms. McAbey, could you come to the microphone, please?
That's Tony Sorelli was just a Planning and Development.
That's right, and I'm when he wrote this letter in 1998, I'm sure that he was referring to the right-of-way that was in this letter. I mean, on this plat. I'm saying the letter was referring to this plat. When they agreed to take over the roads, the maintenance.
Back in that time frame, this is probably all that's in the county records. So this document is the only document that specifies the area that has been dedicated or accepted by Anderson County.
But it doesn't say anywhere in here that they're just maintaining blacktop.
Well, it says roads, so that's all I can tell you. I can't, it's just like a deed. If you went back and checked the title to a piece of property.
But you can't show me anything that says that the subdivision owns that strip of land.
Well, it's by definition the reverse. If it never has been dedicated to the county, then the subdivision owners own it by virtue of the dedication by the plat.
But it's on the plat that there's a 66-foot right-of-way.
Well, that plat was not dedicated, that plat does not dedicate the road to the county. That plat dedicates the 66-foot right-of-way to the owners of Teakwood subdivision. What if, I'm just saying what if, because I think it's illustrative of a point, what if they had never asked for the county to take over the maintenance of the road? Well, it'd be right here the same thing, that the original dedication to the owners of the subdivision is 66 feet. But the grant to the county is less than 66 feet, which leaves a shoulder or a collar of land that they can't access the road because they don't have the right to cross.
Let me ask this. What is the footage from the edge of the asphalt to where you say this line would be?
From the edge of the asphalt
From the edge of the asphalt?
property line of the developer,
Yes, yes, sir.
it's about 10 or 12 feet. Brian measured it the other day. Brian, you know that?
Okay, Ms. McAbey, what is the standard right-of-way from the center of a county road?
So for modern day, that is 25 feet from center line of the road on both sides, so a total of 50 feet.
Okay, all right, thank you.
So prior to this being a county road, it was a private road. Who built it? Was it built by Teakwood?
The developers of Teakwood built the original road and set out the original 66-foot right-of-way for the residents of Teakwood.
Did they pay the Barnetts for access?
I'm sure
Or
they did
whoever
back
owned it.
then.
All right, if you're going to speak, I need you to come to the microphone and state your name and address, and then make your statement. Of course, we know yours, so that's okay on that, but anyway, go ahead.
All right, so there was a border of a lot. They didn't have access to build Teakwood. It came from Patsy Barnett. There was a border of a lot back in the subdivision in exchange for the value of that property. And in addition to that, he's incorrect. There is already access over that. That driveway that enters into 121 Nautical Way right now goes through what he's saying doesn't belong to us and we don't have access to. We already have one there.
All right, thank you. Can I direct to our county attorney, and I'm not asking you for an official decision here, but are you able to offer us an opinion about what would happen if we approve this or deny it in a legal manner?
Right now, my opinion is if you grant the variance, then request it, the applicant would have a variance that would not give them a right to cross property that's owned by the developer. variance would be a step of the process, and there would be other steps. I think before the council, the commission right now, is fairly uncertain record. Who knows the right of way. Given that fact, though, granted the variance, deny the variance tonight, not without prejudice, but it would
Yep.
also
Then-
grant the variance with conditions. The applicant would have
All right, David.
I was just going to say, I was thinking the same thing, and I appreciate the question and the answer, because that was exactly my thoughts. I don't know, we may have people to talk on this, I guess, signed
We
up,
do,
and we
we do.
can. But I'll just inject at this point, to me, it seems pretty straightforward. I believe it is our obligation, since it's become the process, although strange to me, because we've never done this, that I can recall, it would be to grant this variance, because I'm sure there will be other legal steps, not beyond the scope of the planning commission, perhaps in the court system, which I'm making an assumption will probably take place. But for us to sit here and hash out the legalities or the procedures or whether there were deeds or not, I don't believe that's going to give us any benefit tonight.
Well, I don't think that's within our scope anyway.
right.
So, okay, at this time, thank you, Mr. Pruitt. If we need you, we'll call you back.
Can I ask one final question
Sure,
before you do
sure.
that? If this variance were granted, would they need to ask for another variance because of the lot sizes?
They would not. Not on the lot sizes. That's not the issue. It's the access point.
That's what I'm saying, but to my knowledge, I mean, if you're doing a summary plat, you've got to have acre minimum lots, correct?
No, that's zoned R20, so they could have 20,000 square foot lot if they so choose.
All right, at this time, we have several citizens signed up to speak, and the first one is Dwayne Johnson. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry, okay, all right. Yeah, you weren't, I'm sorry, you weren't identified as a developer on here. Okay, Rhonda/Rusty Reed.
To see if I could make a request and let our homeowners association president speak first, because I think a lot of the things that you guys are talking about, he may have some answers for you, but I did want to go ahead and pass out some of these pictures so y'all could kind of get in mind what we're talking about with what to cross over and all that. So if y'all want to look through these, you can feel free to do so. But I was going to see if I could trade my spot for our president, Ellis Johnson.
That'll be fine.
Thank you so much.
Sure.
My name's Ellis Johnson. I live at 102 Allen Court, Anderson, District 4. I'm currently the president of the Teakwood Plantation Homeowners Association. In 94, the original developers of Teakwood Plantation bought 171 acres from the land arm of Duke Energy. They additionally bought 1.1 acres from William P. and Louise Jenkins across the street, not Patsy Barnett. There was an agreement with them that had to do with their access of the driveway that was there, not the property itself. Okay. That year, Anderson County approved the Teakwood as a subdivision with one access road. There were only 70 lots platted at that time. In 2003, Anderson County approved language requiring that subdivisions with 100-plus lots must have 2 access points. Approval of such lots is based on traffic density, safety, and emergency access. The subdivision, any subdivision is regularly applied to these ordinances to when they clearly fit. This would apply to the 4.3 acres along Nautical Way unless the owners can show hardship. Anderson County defines hardship to be evaluated on physical characteristics of the property, not on the personal, financial, or medical circumstances of the owner. The hardship must be that the property is unusable, that's your words, unusable, okay, without a variance to the ordinance. This 4.3 acres was owned by the Barnett family in 1973 and since, and during that time they raised a family and they considered themselves usable in their property. It's a nice brick house with 3 acres of land. It could be used as a garden, an orchard, outbuilding, certain types of plants, or a beautiful green space. Hardly unusable. Now the heirs want to subdivide into residential lots with driveway access to Nautical Way. The land could be subdivided with access directly to 187. However, the Nautical Way address has much more value to the property. That's why Nautical Way has been chosen. The request for variance states that if it's granted, none of the adjacent properties would be impacted at all. A subsequent speaker will show that this is factually incorrect. It also says that it would not affect the overall safety, accessibility, and traffic load of the property, of the roadway. A subsequent speaker will provide evidence and show the likelihood of traffic problems in Teakwood on 187, as well as the Nautical Way entrance itself. Anderson County currently has or is enacting ordinances promoting the existence and maintenance of green space. Okay, taking out some number of trees.
Time, Mr. Chairman.
Okay.
Now, Ms. Reed.
Thank y'all for allowing us to talk tonight. I just wrote down some thoughts. My name is Rhonda Reed, and I'm in the district. I think that we don't have a District 4 person, but all of you. So anyway, I'm Rhonda Reed. My husband Rusty and I were 2 of the newer residents. We just got there in March of 2025. So we chose that particular subdivision as our retirement location because of the beauty, privacy, and character of the established waterfront community. I'm here tonight on behalf of many of the residents to respectfully ask that you deny the variance request that would allow the 3 new driveways to be cut in. As you can see from the photos that I passed out earlier, it's not simply about another driveway. It's about preserving one of the most distinctive entrances in Anderson County. Teakwood Plantation, of course, is a lakefront neighborhood since 1994. The entrance itself is the visual identity of our community, and it was intentionally designed over 30 years ago as a scenic park-like boulevard. And we're very proud of it. It includes stone entrance monuments. I passed out a couple of those little pictures for y'all. But the vast mature canopy tree line that not only myself but other guests that we've had visit in there feel as if they're being hugged when they drive through there. And it's just such a blessing to us, and we don't want that interrupted. And I know and I respect what Mr. Dwayne was saying earlier, that they're not out to try to take out the trees, and you guys don't want us to take out the trees. But if they sell that property, you can't have the say-so over who gets it, you know, and what they want to do. You can't, they can't have the say-so over it if it's gone at that point. And so we're just here saying, please, don't let them take down our beautiful scenery. We have taken care of it for all these years, the irrigation, the curbing, and what I've been told is that we own the dirt under there, just not the blacktop. And I don't know how that's possible. That's over my pay grade. I don't know any of that. I'm just saying we just don't want anything to be erupted. We've worked together for decades to preserve this entrance, and while the county maintains the actual paved road, we have taken care of everything else. So if these other driveways come in, then what are we going to have to do? Tear everything up? Everything that we've done, because now we've got these other people that are not a part of Teakwood. And yeah, you can see in the pictures what they would have to we own the strip of land with the trees on it, so they would have to drive across our property. So I don't know
Ma'am,
the
Mr.
ins and out
Chairman.
of all that. But anyway, thank y'all so much for listening to us tonight.
Thank you, ma'am. Next is Cherie Clark.
My name is Cherie Clark. I appreciate you taking the opportunity to let us speak tonight about this. I'm
And your
asking,
address, if you don't mind.
240 Nautical Way.
All right, thank you.
I'm asking the commission to deny the variance because of traffic safety, emergency access, and long-term development impacts along Nautical Way. Anderson County classifies Nautical Way as a major local road. County development standards recognize that roadway capacity should help determine the appropriate intensity of development, and a major local road intended to accommodate approximately 1,600 average daily trips. Today, Teakwood has over 90 homes, with 9 more homes already in the approval process, bringing Teakwood to over 100 existing lots before this variance is even considered. Additional lots would further increase traffic at the neighborhood's only point of access, entrance, and exit. Our neighborhood's flock safety camera also shows substantial traffic activity. During the first 6 months of this year, it recorded more than 65,000 vehicles entering the neighborhood, averaging between 10 to 11,000 inbound vehicles each month. The cameras only record inbound traffic, and these figures do not include the outbound trips. This is not a substitute for a formal traffic impact study, but it does show that Nautical Way is already heavily used. The proposed homes in this variance are to be located immediately at the only point of entrance of Teakwood. If allowed, heavy equipment, delivery trucks, contractors, and temporary roadside parking could create congestion at this point during development, and then after occupied, the homes would add daily traffic themselves, guests, deliveries, and service traffic. Because Teakwood only has one entrance and exit, any obstruction, whether it's construction, parked vehicles, or an accident, it could significantly restrict access for residents and delay response from emergency responders. That risk is especially serious when an additional home or homes are placed directly at that one point of entry and exit. A long-term concern exists also regarding the property on the other side of Nautical Way. There's 17 acres approximately, therefore. Approval of this variance would then turn around and be able to be cited and support similar future developments. For these reasons, I respectfully request that the commission deny this variance. I do not believe there's sufficient evidence that the proposed increase in residential density at Teakwood's only point of entry has been adequately evaluated for road safety, emergency access, or future development impacts to the already 90-plus established residents on that road. Thank you for your consideration.
Thank you. I see Mr. Pruitt, attorney, was signed up here, but since you've already spoken, if we need you, we'll call you back. Next is Steve Lee.
Listen to us tonight. My name is Steve Lee. I live at 509 Nautical Way in Teakwood, District 4, and I really have 3 primary concerns here. They're going to be a little repetitive. First, I'm going to start off with a note that we have done a survey with all the Teakwood residents in-house, and it has been unanimously that they are not in support of passing this variance. My first concern is the hardship side, and as defined in the AC Anderson County variance application, a hardship relates to physical characteristics of the property, not the personal circumstances of the owner or user, and that the property is rendered unusable without granting a variance. I don't really understand how this qualifies as a hardship. There are other options available. The easiest would be to come off of Highway 187. At this point, SCDOT says that there hasn't been any inquiries on doing anything to access the property off of 187. And this is an email that I have from Scott Brazil outlining that. This variance would actually create a hardship for the 105 Teakwood lots currently in Teakwood, not to mention creating an undue burden during the construction period. The entrance off of 187 may not fit the original lot design proposal as is stated in number 4 of your staff assessment, but it would certainly be the best option for current Teakwood ownership. Financial impact. The addition of 3 driveways to Nautical Way will have a negative impact on the value of homes in Teakwood. Contrary to the number 2 piece of your staff assessment, the entrance was part of the Teakwood property from 94 to 98. During that time, our developer went to great lengths to set up a unique entrance of trees, irrigation, lighting, camera system to enhance the safety and the beauty in our neighborhood. And you have the outline of money that we've spent over the last 30 years, roughly $550,000 of road maintenance for the entrance and the roads in Teakwood. From a traffic and safety impact, there's no question that passing of this variance will increase the number of cars coming in and out of Teakwood. There's an Anderson County ordinance that was passed setting the limit at 100 lots for a single lane in and out for developments. Teakwood's already has approximately 105 lots today, and while these 3 lots are not part of Teakwood, they do sit at the beginning of Teakwood, and if there were an emergency situation, that would choke off any ability to do any emergency stuff within Teakwood. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. And lastly is Joe McIntyre.
Good evening. Can you hear me okay? My name is Joe McIntyre. I'm a resident at 405 Nautical Way, Anderson County, District 4. So I am the HOA treasurer, and I do want to make some clarifications about the developers. So Teakwood Plantation was developed by Teakwood Plantation, Inc., Incorporated. That is separate, a completely separate entity than what we are, the HOA, Teakwood Plantation Homeowners Association. So we are not affiliated at all with Teakwood Plantation, Inc. and any of their developments. What I do want to address today is that we are opposed to the variance request. I want to dispute 2 of the findings that were in the Anderson County staff assessment. We've already established earlier this evening that the strip of land that connects the Teakwood Plantation major property, the 187 acres, it ties in with Highway 187, was purchased by the developers. Subsequent to that purchase, the roads were paved, an entrance was made, beautifications were made, and that material, that structure is located at 187, not at the beginning of the 187 acres. Does that make sense? And that was prior to turning over the roads to Anderson County for maintenance. So in our mind, our entrance is at 187, not at the 150 yards back from 187. So that tree line is part of our entrance, the structures up there. We have invested in those structures. We have power up there. We do security up there. We pay for all of that. We pay for all the landscape maintenance. As treasurer, I'll tell you what our annual cost is for maintenance, and that's around $25,000 annually. That includes power. We provide street lights throughout the neighborhood. We pay for that. We do lawn maintenance for the entire roadside for the neighborhood. We pay for that. And the irrigation at the front and the landscape maintenance at the front. So we pay for all of that. Number 2 is, objection is the number 5 on the staff assessment. No impact. If you guys decide that our entrance is relocated, incorrectly located, we have to tear that structure down, relocate it. That is a major impact to us, the homeowners, that we do not want to incur. So that's number 2. As the HOA, again, we pay for all of those expenses. The property value that we have, if you look at the Teakwood Plantation as a whole, it's about $65 million in property value today. We pay over $400,000 in property taxes to Anderson County. So what we cannot control is what the future homeowners outside of Teakwood Plantation will build to.
Time, Mr. Chairman.
We do not want to see our
All right.
property values
Thank you.
degraded.
I have one question.
Thank you.
I have one question for you. You're the treasurer, you say?
Yes, sir.
So this breakdown of cost is $500,000 since 2002. That includes your entire subdivision,
I cannot.
not just the entrance.
Sir, I do not have sight of what you're looking at. It was not given to me. I
Well,
don't.
it's $500,000, and I'm sure that includes the entire subdivision, I would assume.
That is probably correct. I was not part of that submission to you guys.
Have you looked at purchasing this property that we're talking about here, these 4 lots? The subdivision, buying that land and making it,
Well, all right, so that's a wonderful question. Us as the HOA, we are not in position. That's not, we are an association of homeowners. We do not, as a HOA, we do not own any property other than that strip of land.
I understand all that, but I didn't know it's.
The developers, I can't speak to that. I have no idea. Individual property owners may have approached them. I don't know.
If this is being looked at, then it's pretty obvious that something's going to be done with this property. And if you're worried about what's going to be there close to you, I was just thinking maybe you might want to incorporate it into your.
There may be some homeowners with deeper pockets than mine. I'm
Well,
not in a
realize that's-
position for that.
But I mean, something's going to go there, so sometimes you have to cut your losses. I was just thinking, what.
Yes, ma'am. No, and I appreciate that. I wish I were in position to make a,
Yeah, be nice, wouldn't it?
yes, it would.
Write a check.
Yeah.
All right, thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay, at this time, I'll go ahead and call for a motion, and then we can have discussion after the second. So do I have a motion to approve or deny this variance?
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion that we approve it. As I stated earlier, the reasons, I'll reiterate that I do not think that we can block. I understand everything's been said. I don't see any deeds or anything like that. Obviously, a very beautiful entrance. I don't dispute that at all, and this is definitely something sticky that is going to proceed beyond the planning commission. But in terms of just access to a county road, I don't see how we can impede legal homeowners from building 3 more houses or whatever it is, 3 lots in addition to the houses already there. I agree that access off of 187 would be not desirable for the property owners, not to mention safety concerns, which have been mentioned several times tonight on that. So therefore, I make a motion that we approve the variance.
Okay, we have a motion to approve by Mr. Cawthorn. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second from Ms. Jones. Now, any discussion amongst the board? I will ask our attorney from the county, do we need to amend this motion to allow for anything such as we've already heard you talk about? Well, an amendment to the motion, any condition, I believe Commissioner Cawthorn mentioned that a while ago about a specification, correct?
Well, I was referring to the fact that I'm just trying to look into the future. I know that's probably not a good thing to do, that there will be some legal action beyond the scope
Yes.
of the planning commission.
Correct. There's already existing driveway off Nautical Way, and he's requesting 3 driveway accesses off Nautical Way. That would be the total 4, would be 3 new lots and 1 remaining lot. And that's where the house presently sits now.
All right, well, my question was there anything we could do with this motion that would make it easier? Because I just feel like this is going to become a legal issue, no matter what we do, well, no matter what decision we make. I think it's going to involve a court. My take on it. Mr. Burns, would you care, or Mr. Junkins? Okay, sure.
So, and maybe it was addressed earlier, but I'm assuming this Barnett was involved in the original discussion of Teakwood? And the driveway does exist on Nautical Way. So the original landowners of what we're talking about were involved in when this development originally took place.
Teakwood gave Ms. Barnett a lot in the subdivision for the access.
Right.
Included in that was access to the road that allowed the driveway to come in off of Nautical Way. I do ask this, if you want to put a restriction on it, he can't even prove where the line is and what the property says goes with the road. So don't say you're going to make the developer prove that we should have access. Make them prove that we shouldn't. Because he's the one who came in here without documentation saying that we don't have it, and he can't prove it.
That, if I may, that was my line of thinking. If there was a document that goes back to whenever Teakwood was built and this property for the access was granted, if there's a document that clearly says you can't ever use this again, we're giving up our to the road or whatever road, if there ever was a road there being built, then I would say, to me, that's some standing. But we don't have that. We don't have that in front of us. We have a lot of people that we can believe or not believe. But to me, that's going to have to be proved beyond the Planning Commission. All that I see set forth to me today is a county road with people making a legitimate request to subdivide and have driveway cuts, and I don't see how off of a county road we should hinder or restrict that in any way. To me, that's as simple as I see this request tonight.
One last thing, Ms. Jones, you're absolutely correct. I'll submit a contract to the owners. They can gather their money and we'll sell the property to them. We'll end this whole problem.
All right, so is there anyone that wants to amend the motion to include conditions? Or we go ahead and vote on it as it is and let the legal situation take its course?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Right.
I agree. Right. And that's what I was basically saying.
Yeah, I think it's a legal entanglement no matter what we do.
I don't think that we
Yeah.
ought to look at any evidence that anybody can present tonight, because that is not the scope of us.
Yeah. All right. Any other discussion from the board? Mr. Junkins? No? Yes? No? Okay. All right. At this time, I'll call for a vote. The motion is to approve. Those in favor of approval, please raise your hand. Okay, that would be Ms. Jones, Mr. Cawthorn, and Harvell. Those not for approval, please raise your hand. That would be Mr. Burns, Mr. Junkins, and Mr. Burdette. That is a tie, so it goes nowhere right now, right? Fails. Table.
Table.
Okay. So for now, table.
Which means we must consider it August. 30 days is all we can do.
30 days. Okay, if you're leaving, I'll give you just a couple of minutes to vacate.
Working with people that's on these lots and getting them to be compatible with what they got, and just don't let anything that might come in there.
Ask a question.
Well, I understand that. I'm tired of people cutting down trees.
Can I ask a question?
Of who?
Of this, your lawyer? Can I go talk to him?
Go over there.
They got a better chance of working with those people than somebody else. No, that's a legal issue. Yeah. Oh, they gotta do the lawyers. Yeah. They better, I mean, if you can afford to build 4 houses on that land there, if you can afford to build a house, so you don't, it's gonna be nice. I mean, you're not gonna spend that much money up front and then not build a nice house. They're gonna come out, this is nothing to worry about. Probably bigger houses than what they got in Tennessee. Yeah. Isn't it crazy what houses are costing? Oh my goodness. How do you ever get your first house? Oh. That's a pound of hamburger.
All right, let's come back to order, please, okay?
Oh, the freaking extra leave.
All right, we will move on now to the next item on the agenda, which is item 7B, single-family subdivision, Stone Point Station located on Pine Lake Drive, tax map number 188-00-05-04 and -042 in Council District 6.
Mr. Chairman, we have another variance prior to that one. This is on
The amended
C.
agenda?
item C.
I hadn't seen
Okay, I'm
that.
looking at my original agenda. I thought the only thing that was off was the Burris Farm.
I don't have it either.
It's on the amended agenda.
It's on the amended agenda, Ms. Jones.
Okay.
All right, okay. Item 6C, variance request to allow existing parcel to be subdivided under 1 acre requirement to place a mobile home located at 8801 Highway 24, tax map number 7-01-02-006 in County Council District 4 and staff.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As mentioned, this is a variance application. Judy Walls is the applicant. Leroy Walls is the owner of the property located at 8801 Highway 24 in Townville. This is in Council District 4. There's your tax map for your reference. Property description is 1.874 acres on Highway 24. Current zoning is unzoned, land use residential. Variance request is, the applicant is requesting that the 1 acre minimum requirement as required by ordinance 2024-031 be waived due to, in order to be able to subdivide the lot to place a mobile home there. Findings of fact, the county amended chapter 24 under 24-338 to increase the lot size to 1 acre in size in unzoned areas. Staff assessment, the owner wishes to subdivide the partial to place a mobile home on property. Anderson County only allows 1 residence per lot of record. The lot is 1.874. The existing home has been on the property dating back to 1995. The owner was in the process of subdividing the parcel when the ordinance changed. You've had several of these property owners to get caught in the middle of that during the ordinance change, so this is another variance for this particular reason as well. The hardship exists due to the lot size requirement and factors such as the septic tank placement and the topography of the property. There will be no adverse effect to the adjacent property if the commission does grant the variance. If approved, the applicant will be required to obtain a survey to subdivide the parcel. Once the survey has been completed, if approved, the Development Standards Office will approve the survey for recording purposes. Here is a aerial photography of the property, the lot in question here. Here is the old boundary survey of the property, and you can see where the dotted lines are. If this is approved, this is where the applicant will subdivide that parcel. Here's the variance request signage for your review. This concludes staff report, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Walls is here, available for questions.
Okay, thank you very much. Mr. Waltz, if you'll come to the microphone now, please.
Thank you for listening to us. My name's Leroy Walls, 120 Piedmont Road. Piedmont is where I live, but this is property that I'm trying to develop. The mobile home is putting on there is a 28 by 65, double wide, has 8-foot ceilings, trailer's about 15 foot tall. It's vinyl siding, good windows, shingle roof. It'll be an improvement to the property, and this just cuts the property in half to allow me to do that. And I proceeded, I can get a driveway variance, and I can get a septic tank approved. They've already approved the septic tank. I'm just waiting to see if I got the variance to give me a permit. I think it'll improve the hood. I'm fixing up the house that's been there for years. I've seen it when I was a young person going back and forth to the lake, and it's an old country house, and I'm gonna make it a good improvement to the neighborhood, and I'd appreciate it.
Okay. Thank you, sir. We may call you back, okay?
And I do have a plat ready that could be recorded if you approve it.
Okay, thank you. All right, this time we have two people signed up to speak. Grace Wood.
Good evening. My name is Grace Wood, and my husband and I currently own and reside at the immediate adjacent home at 110 Shirley Circle. We respectfully oppose granting a variance to allow a manufactured mobile home and septic system to be placed on a subdivided lot that is too small and less than the current allowable size lot by current county ordinance. We have owned the adjacent property for more than 6 years and have paid Anderson County taxes for over 20 years. We intentionally and selectively purchased and improved our home to retire in a quiet, relatively rural agricultural setting characterized by larger lots with meaningful separation between homes and abundant wildlife. Our opposing position is based on the following. County planning materials and variance discussions indicate a commonly applied minimum lot size standard of 1 acre for residential lots served by on-site septic systems when the proposed parcel does not, which this proposed parcel does not meet. Granting a variance would undermine the purpose and intent of the standard and provides for a reasonable buffer for, and granting a variance would undermine the purpose and intent of this standard and would not allow for reasonable buffer for long-term system performance, protecting neighboring properties and public health. South Carolina's on-site wastewater regulation requires adequate area for a primary drain field and a repair area, proper setbacks and suitable soils, for all of which become constrained on a less than 1 acre lot, increasing the risk of system stress and failure over time. Recent county land development updates emphasize protecting site conditions and responsible residential community practice, reinforcing the public interest rationale behind the minimum lot sizes for septic system served homes. The surrounding area's rural agriculture character depends on the larger lot size and spacing. Introducing a less than 1 acre higher intensity use conflicts with the established pattern and diminishes the qualities that existing owners, including ourselves, relied upon when investing and choosing to live here. Approving a variance in these circumstances would set a precedent for further below minimum standard subdividing, incrementally eroding the area's rural character and the community's expectations. A variance that increases density with a mobile home added on an undersized lot and rented septic system lot creates negative impacts for adjacent owners, which will translate to reduced marketability and financial impact to these homeowners. Variances are typically reserved for unique, non-self-creating hardships. It is our understanding that the variance request, driven by an investor's desire to maximize profits by rental of both the main property with the house and barn, and the variance requested mobile home on a subdivided lot to be rented out, does not meet that threshold and would confer a special privilege inconsistent with the spirit of the ordinance. Denying the variance protects public health, safety, and welfare and upholds the purpose of the minimum lot size framework for septic system served homes. For these reasons, we respectfully request that the variance be denied and that any new residential development on the adjacent parcel
Mr. Chairman.
complies with the current county standards.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Next is Leroy Walls. Already spoken, okay. All right.
Who's coming?
Oh,
Yes, just for a minute. All I'm asking for is 0.12 tenths of an acre. It's not asking for half acre or anything like that. Previously, you only needed 0.58 tenths of an acre to do it. So it'd be a half acre versus 1 tenth is all I'm asking for. Thank you.
okay, thank you. All right. Any questions for the board before a motion's made? Or any comments? All right, I'll call for a motion to approve or deny this variance. Motion to approve or deny.
I'll move to deny it.
Okay, we have a move for denial by Mr. Burns. Do I hear a second? Second. We have a second from Mr. Cawthorn. Discussion amongst the board. All right, we have a motion for denial with no discussion, so I'll call for the question. Those in favor of denial, please raise your hand. Okay, that would be Mr. Cawthorn, Mr. Burdette, and Mr. Junkins. Those not in favor of the denial, please raise your hand. It would be Ms. Jones, Harvell, and Mr. Burns. Are you voting or not voting?
I voted to deny.
Did you, what was your vote before? Did you vote to deny?
Wow.
Okay, I did not catch that. Okay, I'll add you to that. Okay, well, all right, so the denial stands. It's denied. All right, now, moving on to item 7B. Stone Point Station, located at Pine Lake Drive, tax map number 188-00-05-041 and 2022-042 in County Council District 6. Staff.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is again Stone Point Station. It's a single-family development. 155 property owners within 2,000 feet of the proposed development was notified. The applicant is Jeannie Lee. Engineer of record is Freeland and Associates. And location and access is Anderson County / Brown Drive in Pickens County. Surrounding land use is residential and vacant. The area is unzoned. And the tax map number is there for your reference. It's 40.5 acres, and they're requesting 40 lots, no variance, and this development does not require a traffic impact analysis. Here you will see the 40 lots subdivision in the Anderson County portion with the access road going in Pickens County to a state-maintained road. Here's your overall area of the property. And here's the sign posted for the public. This concludes your staff report.
Okay, thank you, sir. All right, at this time, we'll ask the developer, engineer, landowner to come and present.
Kevin Tumlin, Freeland and Associates. I'm the engineer on the project. I'll keep this brief since we've been here a while. Site's just over 40 acres, and we've got 40 lots for a density that's less than 1 per acre, so it's a low-density project. There will be no mass grading. Houses will be on crawl spaces. Existing drainage patterns will be maintained. The new minimal disturbance and tree preservation ordinance will be followed. We discussed the site with SCDOT, and they're good with the proposed access point. We've also discussed the project with Anderson Engineering, Pickens Engineering, since the road goes through both counties, and they don't have any issues. And we've discussed the site with Pickens County Planning as well, and they don't have any issues or concerns with this project. We did have a community meeting when the site was being considered for annexation into the city of Easley. And that original plan that included Anderson and Pickens properties had 167 lots. And we were going to get sanitary sewer with that development. So we listened to the concerns from the neighbors, and we dropped this back to 40 lots, and it's only on the Anderson property. So that's more than a 75% reduction in the lot count. And the thought was just that this development would be better with larger lots and a smaller footprint. So that's how we ended up with 40 lots. Lastly, the thing I'll add about the letter from the school district, the generic or general letter from last November, the challenge with that letter is it kind of treats a 500-lot subdivision the same as this 40-lot subdivision. And by their own calculations, this 40-lot subdivision should create 13 new students to the school district. So I don't think that'll be an issue with schools. So it's, again, low impact, low density. And I guess that's it. And just happy to answer any questions now or later if I need to come back.
All right, thank you. All right, the first one signed up to speak to this is Carol Mercer.
I was in attendance at the July 6, 2026 Pickens County Council meeting where the proposed Stone Point Station subdivision was discussed. During the meeting, Councilman Chris Bowers questioned County Administrator Ken Roper about the proposed development at the Anderson-Pickens County line. According to the discussion, the proposed subdivision would have no access through Anderson County and would instead rely on a new road through Pickens County as its only entrance and exit. Councilman Bowers stated that the developer's plans did not meet Pickens County development standards, so the developer shifted the development's residential lots into Anderson County in its entirety. When asked whether Pickens County would allow construction of the access road, County Administrator Ken Roper stated that no encroachment permit would be issued. He explained that Anderson County would receive the tax revenue generated by the subdivision, while Pickens County would be left to absorb the traffic impacts associated with the only access road without receiving any of the corresponding tax base. A proposed resolution was further discussed that would state if another jurisdiction approves a development that does not meet Pickens County's development standards, the development must provide access by means other than a Pickens County road. The purpose, as discussed during this meeting, is to ensure that developments approved outside Pickens County do not shift infrastructure impacts into Pickens County taxpayers. In response to a follow-up question from Councilman Bowers, Administrator Ken Roper again stated emphatically that Pickens County will not issue an encroachment permit for the proposed Stone Point Station development. In one of the letters in the packet, Bill Rutledge, Assistant Engineer Roads and Bridges, states the proposed roads cannot be accepted by Anderson County until after they are accepted by Pickens County. Without the approval of Pickens County entrance, this development should be denied, and the future all developments bordering county lines should be required to secure approval from the adjacent county before Anderson County staff recommend and send this vote to the Planning Commission. And for your reference, the discussion starts at 1 hour, 3 minutes, and 30 seconds in the live stream.
Thank you. All right, next is Paula Leslie.
May I ask a question?
Sure, go
Are we
ahead.
required to hear residents from Pickens County speak?
I don't know that precedence has been set for that yet. Should I ask the pleasure of the board for that?
I think it's relevant because the entrance into this subdivision is a Pickens County road, and that's,
And I don't disagree with that. My point is whether or not we, as an Anderson County Planning Commission, need to take advice or input from Pickens County residents.
well, we don't have to take it. I didn't mean ugly.
Well, okay, I'll go ahead and make the decision. I think it's relevant based on what Ms. Jones said, so we will allow you all to speak. Thank you. Just please keep it quiet, please. Okay, Paula Leslie.
My name is Paula Leslie. I live at 1220 Brushy Creek Road in Easley, South Carolina, but I am in Pickens County, and I own a farm, and I don't care what these developers say. When they go in and start developing the property, any trees or anything they mess with is going to be gone. And we need somewhere for our animals to go. I want my farm property. I want all the people that's here representing Pickens County. We all want our farm property, and we don't want any more traffic. And I don't know what else there is to say. I want to keep it rural. I want to keep it country. That's all I want to say. But I'm telling you, any developer, if they go in and start developing the property, they're going to mess up the trees. They're going to mess up the habitat for the animals, and they're going to cause more traffic for us as farm owners and rural property owners.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Margaret McJunkin.
Yes, I'm Margaret McJunkin. I live in Pickens County in Easley. And when I heard about this, about them wanting a road into Pickens County, that wasn't right. We didn't know if we was going to be responsible for the maintenance and everything. Were we going to be taxed more being from this development and everything from Anderson? To me, it's not a good idea. We got enough problems as it is in Pickens without having some of Anderson's. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Next is Harold Kendall.
Good evening, y'all. Is there any reason we're not having a traffic analysis on this project?
Yes.
No answer?
It does not qualify. It has to be 70 to activate a traffic impact study. This is only 40.
Okay, I live at 156 Brown Drive. This thing's only a few hundred feet from where I live, and I never received any postcard either.
Are you Anderson County?
Sir?
You're not?
No, sir.
Then you wouldn't have received.
Somebody else that's in Pickens County did receive one.
Is that?
I mean, you said it's within 2,000 feet, so that should cover both counties.
If they own property in Anderson and there, they may be possibility.
Okay, all right.
Okay. From what I saw at the Pickens County meeting, as our first speaker said, they're opposed to this development, especially cross access from Pickens County. It just shows how unscrupulous this builder is by saying they already got approval for it. Pickens County is trying to save extremely important and needed watershed areas. Why doesn't Anderson County care about it? Need to look into that, folks. It certainly doesn't make sense to destroy the watershed for a little bit of tax revenue. I can understand like that one plantation joint. They bring in a lot of tax revenue. 40 homes, that's nothing. You know what the impact's going to do for our schools, the police, the fire, the roads, the sewer, everything. We need to think about these things before we let these builders slide in there and destroy things. Also the wildlife. If any of y'all have animals, how would you feel if they just all of a sudden their house was gone? They had no place to go. Where does that leave people? Y'all look like smart people. I'm wondering why this is even up for discussion. Pickens County figured out we need to save our land. Let's not let the out-of-state builders come in and destroy it. Who's benefiting from this? Nobody. The only thing I can see is, and don't take this the wrong way, please, but maybe elected officials getting kickbacks from the developer. This is just my opinion, but who else has asked that same question? Okay? Maxwell Commons put houses facing Terry Acres when there wasn't supposed to be any like that. Let's not keep making the same mistakes over and over. Insanity is doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different result, and that's what I see happening here. Please think about what you're doing and don't fall into that category. Please think about the repercussions of this. It's time we stand up for the land and the people that live here. It's time we stop these no-good developers that aren't even from our state. They're from Arizona. They don't care about us. They care about their bottom line because they're a stock exchange-held company. Let's do something for South Carolina. Let's get on board like Pickens County has and stop building until the infrastructure can handle it. Look what happened 250 years ago. The people were fighting for a better way of life, just as we are doing now. The people won then, and we will win again. God bless the USA.
Yes.
All right, John Meyer.
John Meyer, 112 Pine Lake Drive, Anderson County. I'm going to rescind my request for 3 driveways that my wife and I were going to ask for. Just kidding. I do, however, want to echo a couple things. I'm going to start by quoting my next door neighbor, 110 Pine Lake Drive, Anderson County. I took a picture of the variance sign, took a couple pictures online of the various things from the developers and the requests and whatnot. And his response was, they're just not going to quit. Quit what? Well, my wife and I have lived at 112 Pine Lake Drive, Anderson County for 4 years, going on 4 years. And during that 4 years now, we're in our 3rd fight with stuff like this. Why are we fighting it? Well, you'll find that there is this regional need to want to maintain I think we're designated semi-rural or considered semi-rural. There's a sign on the corner of Brown Drive and Sheriff Mills that states that. Right rural, not urban. We have 5 deer that come through our property on the regular basis. They'll play for a while, mess up our yard. I'll mow up their leavings. Then they run through, run between y'all's property over there and head to exactly what's not going to be there anymore. That's where they cut in. I respect people's right to make money off land. I respect the rights of any free market to make whatever kind of money they can. Duke says they can cover the power, if not easily combined utilities or Blue Ridge. AT&T is going to cover the telecommunications. Southside Water District is going to take care of that. And they're going to get what they get from it. Anderson County stands to make some revenue from tax too, and I respect that. I guess the question I have then is, what do we get? What do we get? And the answer really is nothing. Well, we will get some things. We'll get construction mess that's still coming down from Maxwell Commons off of Terry Acres, the junk that keeps blowing down there. We'll get the cars, we'll get the noise. We'll lose.
Time, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you for listening.
Thank you. Next is Lisa Moore.
Hi, I'm Lisa Moore. I live at 129 Pine Lake Drive. I don't know what county I'm from because y'all flip-flop my tax every other year. But just like the owner of this property that we're talking about, she has property in Pickens County and Anderson County. We border this property. We also have Pickens County property we pay taxes in, and Anderson. So I'd almost think that you, Mr. Burns, have been speaking with Easley to not want to hear the Pickens County side residents because they have a lot to say about it too. And the owner of this property is the same that we are, 2 counties. Okay, so first of all, let me explain about this property. This property was filed under the Emergency Farmland Mortgage Act of 1933. It's historic. It was once part of a 400-acre farm that also went to sheriff property. Okay, so it's been tossed, after that, it's been tossed between the sheriffs and the Pepper family. It does not have a clear title, and Catherine Goshorn, who claims the acreage now, has many real estate billboards in Sarasota, Florida, and has never lived a day of her life in South Carolina. Okay, now 3 of the residents that border this property, the Brown Drive was named after the Brown family. Okay, that makes sense, right? The first 2 houses that came on Pine Lake Drive was the Vinsons and the Moores. Those were the first 2 houses put up there. We all bordered this property that we're talking about. The families, they built their homes there, they raised their family, they've got memories, and then some of the 3 members of the family are here today, 3 widows that want to keep their home, keep their peace, keep their safetyness. They don't want the crime rate to go up. They don't want houses up their butt. They don't want the stuff that's coming. They don't want the crap. I've got pictures of what y'all Meritage did on Terry Acres, and I witnessed 2 of these little old ladies picking up Meritage trash in trash bags, walking 2 days out of the week and picking up Meritage trash because they even texted and confirmed that they would pick it up, and they didn't. These little old ladies had to pick up their trash that blew down off Brown Drive or off Terry Acres onto their property, their pastures, their land. That's not vacant land, it's agriculture, pasture land. It's there for a reason. And these women deserve their peace. Another thing I did have I wanted to ask is, did the developer identify and show the recorded 3 and 20 Creek watershed channel improvement easement on his plans? It's recorded in Anderson County. It's 139 acre that backs up to this property. Is it shown? I mean, do y'all know that?
No.
I don't know.
This is just a preliminary plat.
No.
Well, this is a recorded easement, so I mean, it stays with the land, correct, not the owner. So did Ms. Goshorn ask for that to be amended in any kind of way or something? I have it, so surely y'all could find it. If not, you can have my copy. Did they show that on their plat?
Don't have any of that.
Time, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, sorry. Sorry,
Okay,
ma'am.
that's
fine.
convenient.
Okay, next is 2 signed up on one line, so I'm assuming 1 will speak. Janie or Tala Moore.
No, I spoke to them.
Okay, Tala Moore.
I spoke to them. They said they would be
You spoke for them? Okay, all right, and then now two more on one line, Scott and Catherine Campbell.
Ma'am, gentlemen, my name is Jonathan Scott Campbell. I live at 147 Pine Lake Drive, Easley, South Carolina, but it's Anderson County. I've been paying taxes to Anderson County since I moved into that home in 1998. I am directly affected by this proposed development that I can't more strongly oppose. They are proposing, and I'm not sure about their numbers for their lot sizes either, because they're proposing to put a mosquito farm right beside my house. That's essentially what they have drawn out, is they're going to put a retainment pond that's going to breed mosquitoes. That'll detract from my quality of life, of my family. If they do that, then I don't know how they get 1 acre lots out of 40.5 acres, because that pond is way bigger than an acre that they're showing, or at least it shows bigger on the maps. As far as the traffic goes, those roads have not been improved. Valentine Road, which it feeds directly into Brown and Valentine run together. At Pine Lake Drive, they switch. That hasn't been upgraded since the Valentine brothers farmed the property over there. It is not even 2 lanes wide. It would have to be improved. The schools, I'm not sure where he got his 13 kids. If you got 14 houses, I'm pretty sure you're going to have more than 13, 14 kids. If they're going to be as big as they say they're going to be, which makes me believe they're probably not going to be as big as they say they're going to be. They are, in my opinion, they're trying to do this so that once they build these homes, they'll try and push through an easement onto Pine Lake Drive, which can't handle the traffic. It can't handle an additional 40 homes down there. It was never set up for that. The people that lived out there liked a nice, quiet atmosphere. Adding more homes to that is not the answer. There's been traffic accidents all around this area as it is. Everyone goes to Easley. So we're Anderson County residents. Easley is the most convenient thing. We go over to Easley to do a lot of our shopping, right? There's been so many accidents on that road. I don't even want to touch on it, y'all. They've had school buses have accidents on that road. So, the bridge has almost failed on Sheriff's Mill, which is a major tributary to this. This is a bad idea. Y'all are my neighbors. That's what every single one of y'all are. You're Anderson County's residents. You're my neighbors. Don't do this to us. Don't let someone from out of town come in, get their money, get out, and leave us holding the bag, because that's what they're out to do. We don't need this. If they want to build properly, that's fine.
Mr. Chairman.
Y'all have a good evening. I appreciate your attention.
Thank you. Next is Tyler, I'm not getting this last name.
Sir, may I speak for the board?
Go ahead.
My name's Catherine Campbell. I'm a resident at 147 Pine Lake Drive, Anderson County. I've lived there for 21 years since I've been born. I remember the trees. I would go out there and play in the yard, as a kid, thinking I was an animal. That's how we were as kids. But, dear Anderson County Planning Commission, I respectfully request that the Planning Commission deny the approval of the proposed 40-lot subdivision on Brown Drive and Sheriff Mill Road. The property unit is full of impact. The property, until the full of impacts this development have been thoroughly evaluated. Throughout the proposed subdivision is located in Anderson County property. The effects of this development will likely extend beyond the county line and directly impact neighboring properties, communities in both Anderson County. I almost died on January 23rd, 2026 this year because of the traffic. Y'all's traffic study wasn't done during the school year. It was done at the very end when people were going home, going out for summer vacation, not during the school year when traffic's at its most. I almost died because how bad the traffic was on my motorcycle. Called my dad, let him know, hey, I got into an accident on the bike. He sped over from Clemson all the way to here, all the way to home. There are several concerns that warrant careful consideration. This area lies within a region experiencing increasing development pressure near sensitive natural resources, including Brushy Creek watershed. Additional residence density may increase stormwater runoff, erosion, sediment, and water equality concerns. About the 40 new homes, I'm a college student. I go to Clemson. 40 new homes equals 80 new cars. That is 2 cars for each adult in that home. And a family of 3, which is 120 people in total. Family of 4, 160 people in total. A family of 5 is 200 people. 200 people will be living there. And I do live I would be living right behind that mosquito net. And I also am allergic to mosquitoes, so I really hope y'all don't accept this. But that's all I have to say. So please don't. Thank you.
All right, thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. All right, Tyler, and I'm not certain about the last name, I'm sorry.
My name's Tyler Messer. I live at 152A Pine Lake Drive, Anderson County. Nobody's brought up the watershed. Smith Farms behind drainage, whenever they built that neighborhood, took that watershed down and took about a quarter of it in, filled it in, and if you follow that creek where it goes into Ascot, where it goes under is actually starting to erode. That hasn't been brought up. That watershed is getting damaged. And speaking of the school, my son has went to Wren ever since he could go to school. My daughter is now going to school, and when we signed up, the school is so full that they said that my son has gone there, now my daughter can't. She has to go to a different school. So 13 kids will affect that. That's truth. The bridge is crumbling. I mean, it's bad. They tried to condemn it after Helene. They were going to fix it. They were going to shut it down during school season. Pickens County said that's the stupidest thing you can do. That's the only way to the school. That's 3 roads in, and that's one of them. So that bridge has got to be. I know that's not Anderson County, but I drive that every day, and I pay Anderson County taxes. My family does that. I got kids. So, I mean, it does affect us. I mean, I don't know what else to say. I mean, it is a mosquito pond. My kids, I'm right across the street from Scott. I got kids there. So, I mean, my biggest thing is the roads, the watershed. The watershed definitely needs to be looked at because the last neighborhood built destroyed the backside of it, took a quarter of it out and made it into a creek. And then the schools and the roads. I mean, it's already been shut down 3 times. We don't know how many times we got to keep fighting with this. But thank you for your time. Y'all look more tired than we are, and I'm sure y'all want to go home. Y'all have a good evening.
Thank you. Chris Blackman.
Good evening. My name is Chris Blackman. I live on 130 Pine Lake Drive. My husband and I have lived there since January of 2003. We are opposed to any more development in our area. To us, it just defies common sense that more homes would be added so close to the school and on a road, Sheriff Mill, where the bridge is literally supported by telephone poles. Why any more traffic would be added to that, I don't understand. But my husband and I are definitely opposed to anything that has anything to do with Meritage Homes. They have not been honest with Maxwell Commons, what they've said about the destruction of the trees, green space. They lied to us. The impact on Terry Acres has been just devastating to our community. Terry Acres is a very short but a very narrow road. So Meritage Homes developed the road up till their driveway, their entrance into the subdivision, but they did not develop to the end of the road, where they also added 5 more houses. So that section of the road is about 18 to 20 inches shorter on each side. So it's still dodging traffic to get on the other half of the road. And for the 3 months during their construction, they were blatantly disrespectful to our community. 6 days a week, sometimes 7, for 3 months. They would not allow their subcontractors to park their vehicles on those additional 5 properties. Now, mind you, they had extra parking in Maxwell Commons, but they wouldn't let the subcontractors use that. So for 3 months, 6 to 7 days out of the week, that entire lane was blocked. I watched school buses inch their way down the road. They were so blatant as to dump an entire load of mulch on the road. We have seen entire pallets of sod on the road. Trusses were left on the road for a couple of days with no cones, no lights. There's no street lights there. No warnings, no buffers. I called Anderson County to complain about the dump truck of mulch that was blocking the lane. And I happened to come back to my house and be behind them when they were checking on it. And I stopped them, I thanked them for coming, and I said, hey, are these guys going to get fined because they keep doing this? And they said, no. All we can tell them is no, no. So these developers, Meritage Homes, is taking advantage of being on the county line. No respect for the community at all. Absolutely none. They've blocked an entire lane of traffic for 3 months straight, and they didn't care. So again, my question to you all is, who's protecting us? Who is protecting us? Who is going to keep Meritage Homes in line? Who is protecting us? Thank you for your time.
Thank you. All right. Next is Dawn Crooks.
Thank you for having us today. Mr. Burns, I would just like to say one thing. This entrance that is these people right here are doing is directly in front of my house. I might be in Pickens County, but you're dumping all
Point of order,
of
Mr.
county
Chairman.
traffic on me.
Please speak to the chairman, please.
2411-115 in your section of ordinances states that Anderson County Land Development Ordinance states that the purpose of these standards is to relate development intensity to carrying capacity of the road system, promote the safety and convenience of vehicle traffic, protect residential neighbors, and promote the safety of neighborhood residents. It also requires traffic impact studies, but I also understand that that is not needed at this moment. However, the traffic impact that you are putting is in Pickens County. What I don't understand is why the traffic impact is you don't have a letter from Pickens County stating that they will give you access to this development. It is a landlocked 198 acres, 99 acres is landlocked. So Anderson County needs permission from Pickens County. So your section 24115 should coordinate with the fact that Pickens County needs to give you a letter of access for an entrance. I will go on to state that in section 24114 states that these development standards are intended to protect public safety, scenic beauty, neighboring property owners, and to manage stormwater responsibility. There's a watershed. So I would assume before you give access to Meritage Homes right here, that you would get a stormwater letter stating that they would protect the watershed that is on this property. These findings should only be made after the commission has complete and accurate information. Tonight, the applicant has not answered critical questions. He has a statement in the packet from Easily Combined Utilities saying that they will give them access to sewer if they're annexed. Are you on septic or are you on sewer? Which is it? Are they on septic or sewer? Because Easily Combined has not given you access to sewer. It states they have to be annexed.
Point of order, Mr. Chairman. This is not an answer question session.
Yes, right, correct. But that is a point, so.
They're on septic.
They are on septic, okay. So we have that answered. Yes,
Okay, then if we will move on, Anderson County should not determine the safety of Pickens County residents without first understanding the impact in its decision that it will have on another county's infrastructure. Every school day, approximately, and this is accurate information from the Pickens County School Board, 650 students attend Easley High School, which is less than a mile from this development. It's actually a half a mile. 25 school buses travel to this.
Time, Mr. Chairman.
So I would appreciate if you guys would take all this
That's
into
time.
consideration
Thank you,
for our Pickens County residents.
Next is Laura Henty.
Hello, thank you for letting me speak tonight. I appreciate that.
My name is Laura Henty. I live on the Pickens-Anderson County line. This project directly affects my community because of the proposed access and traffic impacts. I know that many people have spoken about this already, so I will. Excuse me. So I will also just touch on the fact that I think the most important document in your packet is the letter from the Anderson School District 1. The superintendent and board of trustees have formally recommended against approval because the schools in this attendance area have reached their capacity and there is no comprehensive plan to support additional growth. I also submitted a text message to you all. I hope that you got it. It was a video in which Pickens County Councilman Chris Bowers and County Administrator Ken Roper explained that Pickens County's position. They state that Pickens County would deny the requested access because Pickens County would bear the traffic impacts while Anderson County would receive the tax revenue. Finally, the developer is asking to narrow the road from Pickens County 24-foot standard to Anderson County's 20-foot standard. Brown Drive already feeds directly onto Highway 8, as we've talked about, heavily traveled corridor serving Easley High School, Geddes Middle School, West End Elementary School as well, along with KP and Dan Foss. I would also say that if you've ever traveled those roads, that it's one lane. So to further put more traffic and then also narrow down to 20 is probably not a good idea. Thank you.
All right, Bob. Bill Martin.
Hi, my name is Bill Martin. I live at 338 Addis Circle, Anderson, South Carolina. And I'm friends with people up here in this area here. But the infrastructure is not there to support this subdivision. Brown Drive, when you leave the new subdivision, you're going to exit on Brown Drive. Here you got to turn right, which goes to Sheriff Mill Road, or you turn left, you go down to Ballantine Road, or else exit out as Terry Acres. Both those, Ballantine Road is not wide enough for 2 cars, it's missing asphalt down at the end of it, holes in it. Terry Acres, that's where another subdivision is gone, and there's a lot of traffic that goes out in the Highway 8 there. Highway 8 corridor is terrible through there. Certain times of day, you can't even get out in Highway 8. So if you leave the proposed subdivision and turn right on Brown Road, you go to Sheriff Mill Road, and that's where that bridge is. And that bridge is not safe for these concrete trucks and stuff. A standard concrete truck that holds 10 yards, that's 40,000 pounds just in concrete. The average concrete truck weighs from 26,000 pounds to about 34,000 pounds, depending on how it's structured, if it has the extra axle and stuff like that. So this bridge is a 50-year-old bridge, wood pole bridge, and yes, DOT has gone and put Band-Aids on it and repaired it over the several years. The last time that the bridge was closed was November 24th for emergency piling and pier repairing. So it's my understanding that bridge currently does not have a posted weight limit, is maintained by the South Carolina DOT, and falls under state legal weight laws, which means it is open to all standard legal weight vehicles. So if you have 3 axles, it's 46,000 pounds. If you have 5 axles, it's up to 65,000 pounds. A standard concrete truck that goes in residential areas only has 3 axles, 2 axles in the rear where the mixer is, then 1 axle up front for steering. So if that truck has 40,000 pounds of concrete in it, plus the truck itself weighs around 26,000 pounds, that's over the weight limit of that bridge. And the other problem with that bridge is it's not on level land. If we got pictures of the wood poles and stuff like that, that bridge is actually down in kind of a little valley for Brushy Creek. So any truck that goes there, they're going to.
Time, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, time. Thank you. Jessica Massey.
Good evening. My name is Jessica Massey, and I live at 1992 Saluda Dam Road. First, thank you for your service to Anderson County in this important role. I know it is much more involved than anyone who hasn't sat in your seat will ever understand, and so I want to start with a clear thank you for your time and consideration. Thank you for letting us speak in your county. I am a Pickens County resident, but I teach here in Anderson at Anderson Christian School. I am here with concerns about the infrastructure stress this development will introduce for both our counties. I have been intensely involved and invested in the Sustainable Development Plan for Pickens County for several years now, including founding the largest development grassroots presence our county has, Community Alliance for Sustainable Development, that has grown into keeping all upstate residents informed about what development plans and ordinance changes are happening. We mobilized a group of around 40 here tonight. If you will please stand, if you're with us tonight. This is fewer than our usual crowd, as it was a serious drive for many of us. Thank you. We drove in from another county because we are so concerned about making sure appropriate development happens in the right places. My involvement with this group has helped highlight for me several infrastructure stresses both of our counties are experiencing. All Pickens County infrastructure, departments, and services are experiencing extreme growing pains and shortages, and every housing development sets this back further. Our sheriff's office, EMS, fire, county staffing, school system, utilities, and more are all objectively overwhelmed. I understand you have received similar feedback from your school district and others indicating this is not the place or time for this development. In addition to the other concerns you've heard tonight, this will exacerbate the overburdening of our medical system. The entire upstate is saturated in residents with disproportionate lack of practitioners. The wait to get in with almost any specialist is inappropriate. Pickens County is already behind the curve in specialist medical care, and every development worsens it. My personal experience was being told that there was an 18-month wait to get in with a Greenville neurologist for my debilitating migraines, and to my point, we don't even have neurology in Pickens County. For Pickens County specifically, our lack of any part of Interstate 85 does not lend itself to increased development pressure in an area already so overburdened it is under a moratorium in our county. This development will create traffic pressure in an area that truly cannot accommodate anymore. Pickens County is so concerned about the traffic saturation in this area it is in a moratorium with intent to restrict development once it is lifted. I recognize you have a difficult job and decision, but I implore you to consider the words of my Pickens County neighbors that will say tonight, and broader implications of this development as it will impact not just your beautiful county, but ours as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is Kelsey Crooks.
Good evening. My name is Kelsey Crooks, and I live on Brown Drive. 3 years ago, in February of 2023, I stood before City of Easley officials asking them to protect our community. Tonight, in July of 2026, I'm standing here giving you that same speech. Not because we enjoy coming to these meetings, not because my neighbors enjoy spending their evenings here, but because the reasons we fought then still exist today. Sheriff Mill Road hasn't gotten wider. Brown Drive hasn't become capable of handling hundreds of additional trips. Pine Lake, Terry Acres, and St. Paul Road and Ballantyne haven't suddenly gained the infrastructure needed for high-density development. Our schools haven't found unlimited capacity, neither have yours apparently. And the Brushy Creek watershed hasn't become any less worthy of protection. The facts are remarkably similar to what they were 3 years ago. We know what happens when growth outpaces infrastructure. We live in it every single day. We sit in school traffic, we navigate dangerous intersections, we watch stormwater rush around our homes. We remember Hurricane Helene, what it did to Sheriff Mill Road Bridge, and our community was cut off for nearly 2 weeks because that bridge shut down. That wasn't a hypothetical problem. It happened. It demonstrated exactly how fragile our area and infrastructure already is. So when we're told another subdivision will somehow fit without creating additional burdens, we're asking you to compare those promises with the reality we experience every day. Because it's not just another vacant piece of land. It's a part of a 100-acre tract divided by a county line. One side falls under Pickens County, where a development moratorium is currently in place while officials consider stronger protections. Rather than waiting for that process to conclude, this proposal has moved forward to you in Anderson County. Infrastructure doesn't recognize county boundaries. Traffic doesn't stop at the county line. School buses don't stop at the county line. Stormwater doesn't stop at the county line. The Brushy Creek watershed certainly doesn't stop at the county line. And neither do the consequences of approving another development that existing infrastructure cannot support. Over the last 3 years, thousands of residents have spoken with one voice. We've attended meetings, we've stood outside in protest, we've collected more than 5,000 signatures, we've filled council chambers because we care deeply about the place we call home. This has never been about opposing every new home. It's about asking that growth be responsible. It's about recognizing that communities have limits. It's about understanding that existing residents deserve the same consideration as future
Time, Mr.
development.
Chairman.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Next is Carol Johnson.
My name is Carol Johnson. I live at 103 Equestrian Trail in Anderson County, Easley. She's right. 3 years ago is when I met these folks. I saw some signs up on the road talking about annexation, and evidently Easley wanted to annex 100 acres of Anderson County and Pickens County land into the city of Anderson so that they could build, develop this property. And I guess if you annex the property into the city, you get to build more homes on less acreage. So we fought that, and she's right, for years, fought it, and they denied the annexation, so that was a win. So anyway, it's just interesting that now it's all come down to Anderson County, and I live in Anderson County, so now, obviously it all directly affects all of us. But this property does contain natural springs, and those natural springs, I do know that with civil engineering, you can redirect those springs, but they're never really quite right. They don't really work the same. So I'm just wondering where the natural springs would go. The watershed that's on this property does go into the Brushy Creek, and I live on the watershed just below this watershed. So all that sediment, all the runoff, water flows downhill. So really everything's been said. I really can't come close to competing with that. But one thing I do know is that Ballantyne Road, but probably most of y'all are probably from the southern end of Anderson, but Ballantyne and Pine Lake, these roads and Brown Drive that lead up to Sheriff Mill, they're like itty-bitty roads. They're like some of these roads that I've heard people speak about down here. They don't have any shoulders, they don't have any curbs, they're just little bitty asphalt roads, barely enough for 2 cars to pass, and actually some are not, you can't pass with 2 cars. So they have to be, I would think you'd have to widen these roads for all this additional traffic. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Cheryl Burkowski.
Hello. My name is Cheryl Borowski, and I live at 122 Country Lakes Road in Easley. I'm just going to speak to, everybody's done a great job, but generally just speak to our quality of life here. My husband and I moved here 28 years ago. We have raised all 4 of our children here, are all graduates of the Anderson District 1 at Wren. I'm very blessed they all live in the area. We have seen massive growth. When we first lived here, and for the first dozen years, I barely had to stop at the end of my street. It had a stop sign, but it was more of a yield. I'd get out on 123, go do my grocery shopping, and there'd be a dozen cars on the road. And of course, that has all greatly changed. And I know, and we know that growth is we're not going to stop everything. We're going to grow. This is a fantastic place to live, raise our family, and hopefully retire and go on to the Lord here. But everything has to be controlled, and we now in this area have way too much growth. We can all see that, we can all feel that. You know, my husband and I sit outside by our fireplace, and I can hear all sorts of road noise, where literally less than probably 8 years ago, we could never hear anything but the coyotes howl. So just to try to put in perspective and think about our overall quality of life, what these new developments are asking of all of us who have lived here, of our residents, because I've met with our county councilman, we had a budget meeting, and we're all getting asked to bear that financial burden because we can't get the county to pass an impact fee for all these new developments. And it's just not fair, and it destroys our quality of life here. So that's all I have to say. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Danny Lee Ford.
Thank y'all so much for having me. You know, since I've ran for Commissioner of Agriculture, I've told people that if I got elected, I would sure come and speak on their behalf. And, you know, so far I've had 8 or 9 counties reach out to me since I've lost and ask me to come speak for them, which I'm happy to do. And usually I hit the spiel, which I'm all sure y'all have all heard about farming and the direction we're headed of sustainability, of only being 10% sustainable in the state of South Carolina. But, you know, I just sit here with a smile on my face because y'all have got the A-team in here. I mean, these people right here are absolutely amazing, so patriotic, want to take care of their community. And so I feel this is more a Pickens moratorium problem coming into Anderson, because I didn't have a clue about this. I was originally coming for the 1,056 acres or homes that was going to be a problem. But, you know, when I see the difference in these people right here in the subdivision talking about 3 driveways, I see the direction we're headed with 79% growth in South Carolina. Everywhere I've gone, every county I've been to, they've told me about how they are concerned because the out-of-state companies are coming in here and they're taking our land, they're building on it, and they're leaving us with all the problems. And for the about hour or two I've sat here, that's all I've heard from these folks is how that there's a little way in, a little bit way out, and it can't work to bring this density on that road. I think we need to take a step back in sustainability. We need to have responsible growth. We need to update our roads before we bring strain on our system. It's so terrible to see every person in this county worried about us going to turn into Portland or California or something else down the road. I'm pretty sure that I heard that this is the 3rd stop on the tour for this one issue. These people have shown up and have just as much invested as anything. So I hope y'all listen to them. I hope you take the opportunity to hold this back and at least kick it down the road until the moratorium's lifted. I think that's very unfair for them to come put it in our county's court and try to make us make a decision for Pickens County, South Carolina. I don't want that reputation.
Thank you. And up last, we have Donna Rainey.
Mr. Chairman, thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak. I come before you from a different perspective. I live in Pickens County, but I also live in Easley because we're right on the line. Today, I left at 4:30 to come here. I'll tell you, I sit at the stop sign because our subdivision comes out on Highway 8. In 7 minutes, 64 cars went by both ways. When I first moved in, I'm like that other lady. The stop sign was like a yield sign. I live across from Ingalls, and an apartment complex. And I didn't really have to worry about looking for cars because it was just easy in and easy out. In 21 is when the building boom exploded in Easley. Developments everywhere. I think there has probably been approximately 4,000 houses built. Highway 8 cannot take any more traffic. Brushy Creek cannot take any more traffic. And where this subdivision is, these people are going to have two ways to go. They're not going to drive 21 miles to come shopping in Anderson. They're going to come to Easley. Highway 8, last week, I was in a meeting with Senator Rice and Representative Neil Collins trying to get some kind of relief off of Highway 8. And whatever they're going to do is going to cost a lot of money, and it's going to be years in the future. I want y'all to really take in consideration, even though we're in Pickens County, we will be highly impacted from these developments. We're already impacted from other developments in Anderson County going down Highway 8. And I would really appreciate it if you would deny this.
Thank you, ma'am. Okay, that concludes citizens' comments. Did you sign up? All right, okay. Can you do it as one? Do it as one, the two of you as one? Address it as one, please.
They've already talked about the watershed.
My name is Jim Hopkins, and I live at 405 St. Paul Road in Easley with my wife and family. I am in Anderson County. We, along with our son and his family, live on property that my wife's parents bought in the 1950s and built their home there. My in-laws were owners of the property when the watershed was built. The access to the dam is on the property where I live. The dam was put in place about 1959, 1960. Strom Thurmond gave an address at the dedication of the dam. The source of the Brushy Creek is in downtown Easley near the silos. The creek runs behind the old Easley Mill, behind what is now Geddes Middle School, and crosses under US 123 near the Napa store, through J.B. Owens Park. Easley Combined Utilities had sewage treatment lagoons where the soccer fields are now for many years. The creek continues on and runs under the bridge on Sheriff's Mill Road before it enters the watershed. It continues on from and eventually into the Saluda River. Watched the watershed for many years, have seen many changes in the characteristics of the flow, especially since the development in the past few years in Pickens County, where all the street trees and underbrush were stripped before the houses were built. 2 inches of rain can cause the pool to raise 4 to 6 inches of the lake. The lake is 22 acres surface. I witnessed Hurricane Helene put down enough water to raise the level approximately 21 feet. It ran over the spillway and did what it was exactly designed to do. It protected the property and houses down below. Anything else that's done on this lake is going to affect it greatly. There are 4 housing developments that have been built in the last 40 years on St. Paul Road alone. There are 3 developments already on the Brown Drive and Ballantyne Road. The 2 roads are connected and form a through road between Sheriff's Mill and St. Paul. The latest development that is shown on the provided map as under preparation is on Terry Acres. Maxwell Commons has added 104 houses to that. I understand why this absentee landowner sold the property in question. I have been approached about selling mine many times. What I don't understand is why all developments have to be on top of each other. Why do they have to be built on roads that were designed as farm-to-market roads and never for the traffic that they're trying to hold now? Folks, the stress on the environment is coming outrageous. I walk my dog on my property twice a day. I see the blue heron.
Mr. Chairman.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Hopkins. All right.
With all due respect, may I speak? I'll be much quicker.
Quick, Very quick.
My name is Dale Schwartz, 122 Terry Acres. The biggest thing that I didn't hear tonight was that the development directly across the street from me that brought 104 homes is kind of a major, I guess, opposition for me for this development, because if that hadn't been there and had all of us not seen what kind of damage that has done with traffic and everything, this one probably would have been able to scrape through. But the impact that that the development across the street has brought is crazy. All of the roads nearby, as everybody said, is very skinny. And I really need you to just take that into consideration, that development is so new that it's just impacted a lot in the area. So that's why I'm opposing this one as well. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so that ends citizens' comments. Does anyone on the board have any comment before we have a motion to approve or deny this?
Mr. Chairman, I know we've gotten sufficient information, but I do live in Anderson County, fairly near where this project's being proposed, and I had, not knowing they were going to all be here, I'd already researched the services, and just for the record, I would like to say that there is no sewer to the subdivision. It'll have to be on septic tanks. Is that correct? And I think water will be provided, but it said somewhere in our notes that the developer would have to, that would have to be at his expense, I guess, run it from the road. I'm not sure what that meant, but it is accessible to get water, correct? The bridge is bad, don't drive on it. And we are all aware of the overcrowding at Wren High School and the feeder schools, the middle school and the elementary school. That's an issue that we already understand. I did go to, since there was nothing here from the fire department, that's always a big thing with me. I went and talked to the fire chief out at 3 and 20, and he, of course, said he was, maxed out pretty much. He's having a really hard time recruiting firemen, if any of y'all are interested. He said lots of people want to move here, but they don't want to be volunteers at the fire department. But he was concerned about his staff with a continuing increase in population out there. And the traffic goes without saying. It's something, since I live out there, I'm aware of this. I'm going to go ahead and mention it. We're getting a lot of traffic off of 85. That's how they get into Easley. And all those apartments over there in Pickens County, right on the Anderson County line, you know how those people are getting off of 85, getting home through my backyard. That's where a lot of the traffic's coming in. I had to think about it, but Pickens County is generating a lot of traffic for us already. And I just wanted to go ahead and put that in a minute since I looked it up.
All right, anyone else? Call for a motion.
I just ask a question on this.
Sure.
Proposed roads cannot be accepted by Anderson County until after they are accepted by Pickens County.
That statement is for the maintenance of Anderson County, for the roads in Anderson County. That's what that statement's for.
So there's nothing that has to be accepted by Pickens in order to put the road in.
Correct. It can be a private maintained road, and the DOT owns the road right away. So they would make the decision on access to this development.
But the road into this development is in Pickens County. I think that's where it gets kind of funny.
And there is no possible access into this parcel from Anderson County. It has to be from Pickens, correct?
Correct.
Anyone else? All right, call for the motion.
Motion to deny.
We have a motion by Ms. Jones to deny. Do I hear a second? We have a second by Mr. Cawthorn. Any discussion amongst the board? All those in favor of denial, please raise your hand. And it is unanimous. All right. Okay, if you can leave quietly, because we got a few more. I mean, you don't have to leave, but if you, while you're leaving, please be quiet, because we are we've got a few more things to do here.
Thank you.
All right. All right, next on the agenda is election of the chairman to serve out the remainder of the year. So at this time, I will call for nominations from the board.
Mr. Chairman, we have the forms here.
So we just mark these and turn them in?
Just circle one, and we'll take them up, and the attorney will tabulate everything.
This is not the way county council does it.
This is the way the planning commission has suggested they do it.
I'm sorry, pardon? This is who, what?
Mr. Cochran knows this is the way that the planning commission has been doing it.
No hanging chads? It's too late for a chad to hang, I can promise you.
Obviously.
Thank you. Thank you, board members. We have one person signed up to speak to other matters, and that is Phil Clark.
Mr. Chairman, since you were elected chairman, we do need to vote on a vice chair.
Yes, we do, you're right. Okay, how are we going to do that? We're going to do that by ballot too?
Nominate somebody?
Is there anybody on the board that wants to be vice chair? Okay, Mr. Cawthorn asked to not be included.
I'll be the treasurer too.
So, are we getting ballots for this?
Hold up, just a minute, just a minute.
Passing them out, I got. I don't know which one it is, I don't care.
Does anyone want to express a
Not me.
preference to be vice chair?
Wait, I already voted.
All right, I did ask. I will have to say, the lack of a nomination process in this seems just a bit odd. Is this is not the way we were doing it, Mr. Kaufman?
It has been. There's been some situations, and they asked that we change it.
Huh? Yeah, I know, it's, yeah. Yeah. Not trying to be contrarian, but it's just,
No, I'm just doing it the way that
I
they've.
know how county council has done this for
I
years. and
understand that.
It's always public. It's
Well,
always
that's the
public.
way you all been doing them.
What'd you say? What'd you say? I didn't hear what. For vice chairman?
Michael isn't even here.
That's all the more reason to elect him, right? You're not, if you miss a meeting, you get elected.
Do you want it? Do you want it? Okay, all right. He said he would accept, so. We want to make sure who we vote for is okay with it.
What do you hand me this paper for? Am I supposed to
Voted for Danny Ford.
vote on this? Oh,
And let me ask this, Ms. Hunter, we did not have any, I know the agenda was amended, but we didn't have any hard copy of the situation with the 2 lots and the mobile home. We didn't have any hard copies of that up here.
Quenisha, did they have that in their packet?
No, it
I
was
didn't
not.
have it, but it's done now.
That one caught me off guard. I mean, I understand it was on the amended agenda, but then I had no documentation up here in order to proceed to that, so that's why that happened.
What she's saying.
All right, now we'll move on to citizens' comments on any other thing, and that's Phil Clark. Is Phil Clark still in the room?
Apparently not.
That's not Phil Clark walking out. All right, since Phil Clark apparently has left, do I have a motion to adjourn? Motion for Mr. Cawthorn, second. And all those in favor, leave.